Have you ever had the feeling that you love someone who holds you on an invisible leash? That your desires, decisions, your heart no longer belong to you? That you're just a pawn in a game whose rules you don't understand, but you keep playing because you're afraid to stop? This is not a story about love, this is a story about power, about a desire that turns free men into emotional slaves, about women who, consciously or not, play a role in this game, a role that no one taught them, but which they have mastered to perfection. In a world where power was measured by swords, voices, or money, there existed another form of power, subtler, but far more effective. It didn't need violence, it didn't need the law, it only needed emotions. This was the power of women, but not the woman shown in fairy tales, not the one who seeks rescue, but the one who creates a need before anyone realizes they need it. Her tool wasn't a knife, but a gaze, not a command, but silence, not violence, but suggestion. And although she didn't write history, history was written through her. A man in this woman's eyes was strong, but his strength had a weak spot. He couldn't stand not being needed. He wanted to be the hero. He wanted to be the conqueror. He wanted to be loved, admired, desired. And it was this need, not her body, not her beauty, but his own need to be someone special in her eyes, that became his cage. The more he tried to win her attention, the more he gave himself away. Not because she forced, but because he gave himself in exchange for the illusion of emotional closeness. Modernity feeds us the idea of emotional equality, that both sides give equally, that love is a fair contract. But this equality is a myth, not because one gender is superior, but because women and men don't play the same game. A man plays to conquer, a woman plays to rule, emotionally. And the most effective domination is one that never gives a command. She doesn't say stay, but he can't leave. She doesn't say love me, but he can't stop thinking about her. She doesn't need control because he gives her everything willingly. The relationship becomes a theater. She, the mistress of mood. He, the viewer, who mistakenly thinks he is the main actor. In this play, the woman doesn't even have to know her script. Her charm isn't in a well-thought-out plan. It's in the fact that the man writes the script himself, casting her as a queen, goddess, savior. And when she withdraws even for a moment, his world loses its meaning. Because he didn't love her. He loved what he felt when he was with her. And here lies the tragedy. The more you desire her, the less you are yourself. The harder you try, the more you idealize her. The more you idealize her, the less you see the truth. You close yourself off in a cycle. Need, the brief fulfillment, fear, need again. You won't fall in love with her. You will fall in love with how much you want to have her. And this is the mechanism Nietzsche called the will to power turned against oneself, when a person uses their strength to make themselves weaker. How to break free from this? Not through struggle, not through hate, but through awakening. Understanding that a woman, even the most beautiful, seductive one, is not your salvation. She is not your meaning. She is not your center. Only then can you be free. Only then can you love, without dependency. Desire without subordination. Be with her, without losing yourself. Rule 1. Kill the hunger to be loved. It's not the woman who enslaves you. It's your desire to be loved by her that makes you her slave. The less you need, the more you are desired. Rule 2. Become impenetrable. A man who says everything, feels everything, and gives everything becomes transparent. And transparency is not desired. Let your silence speak louder than words. Rule 3. Don't seek love, build yourself. Love is not the goal. It's a side effect of being strong, complete, and free. The more you focus on your path, the less you can be stopped by anyone. There is nothing more terrifying to the illusion system than a man who cannot be deceived, who looks a woman in the eyes and sees not a goddess but a human, not a puzzle but a mirror, in which his own needs and illusions are reflected. Such a man does not fight with a woman. He does not despise her. He simply no longer needs her to be himself. And that's why he becomes someone who cannot be dominated. Not by emotions, not by beauty, not by fear of loneliness. Because the one who no longer desires to be chosen becomes the chooser. If what you've heard has touched something in you, you don't have to agree with it. But you can for a moment stop playing the role and start living the truth. For only a free man can truly love. Every culture has created an image of woman as something more than human. In Greek mythology, there was Aphrodite, beautiful, ruthless, capricious. In the Bible, Eve, the source of sin, but also the beginning of life. In Romanticism, the muse, unattainable, idealized. In Jungian psychology, anima, the embodiment of a man's unconscious. Why? Because a woman does not only attract the body, she awakens the unease of the soul. She represents chaos to a man who desires order, instinct when he flees into reason, unpredictability when he desires control. But this myth only works when a man doesn't know himself. The less you know about yourself, the more you project onto the woman. It is not she who hurts you. It is your illusions about her falling that break you in half. When you look at a woman, you are really looking at yourself. You see your fears, hopes, hunger. She becomes the screen on which you project what you cannot name. If you fear loneliness, you will beg for her presence. If you fear rejection, you will do everything to keep her close. If you fear yourself, you will fall in love with her. But the truth is brutal. You do not love the woman. You love the emotion she gives you. This is addiction, not to her, but to yourself with her. Not every woman consciously desires to dominate. Not every woman manipulates intentionally. But love, even the most pure love, has a structure of domination. Because when you love, you want to be the one. You want to have influence. You want to be important. You want the other person to change for you. And here the fight begins, not with a sword, not with a but with silence, coldness, withdrawal. Or conversely, excessive closeness, care, warmth. These are all strategies. This is a game of power, not in politics but in the bedroom. Not over a country but over the soul of another person. Why does a woman, even the gentle, loving, tender one, strive for domination? Because she wants to feel safe. And in order to feel safe, she must know that she controls your feelings. That you are only for her. That you will not disappear. That you will not that you will not become bigger than her. This is not evil. This is instinct. But when you are not aware of it, you become a cog in a mechanism you don't understand. Philosophers knew what they were doing when they chose solitude. Not because they hated women. Not because they were weak, but because they understood that every relationship is a trap. If you are not free within yourself, love is not for everyone. Love is for those who do not need it. And those who desire it too much are the ones who suffer the most. True strength begins where the need to be chosen ends. If the man is structure, the woman is chaos. This is not an evaluation, it is an archetype. It is a primal symbol known for millennia. That's why the man desires the woman. Because chaos attracts. But he also fears it, because chaos can swallow him. And it is this fear that makes so many men lose their identity in relationships. They cannot love and remain themselves at the same time. Because they do not love the woman, but the safety they want to extract from her. And this never works, because a woman as chaos does not provide safety. She tests it. If you want to be free, stop trying to control the woman. Control yourself. Ask yourself, am I ready to love someone and need nothing in return? Can I walk away when I'm being ignored? Can I remain silent when my ego screams for attention? Because freedom is not the absence of relationships. Freedom is the ability not to lose yourself in a relationship. A woman can be everything. She can be light if you don't seek light in her. She can be fire if you are a rock. But if you are just a tree, she will burn you mercilessly. Because she didn't come to save you. She came to test you. Do you have your own path? Or are you just an echo of her gaze? Only a man who doesn't need a woman is ready to truly love her. Because he doesn't see an illusion in her. He sees a human being. Do you want a woman to desire you? Don't say anything to her. Go your own way. Don't ask. Don't beg. Don't stop. When you no longer need anything, you get everything. Philosophically speaking, a woman is not just a person. She is not just an emotion, a sense, a memory. She is a trial that life places before you to test. Is your freedom real, or just a facade? Is your peace the silence of emptiness, or the result of inner mastery? Is your strength based on loneliness, or on escape? Because a woman like no one else knows how to extract your weakness. Sometimes it only takes one glance, one word, one silence. And you are no longer yourself. You are already reacting. You are already analyzing. you already want to be more for her. In this sense, every woman is a metaphysical exam, and you will fail it until you stop playing the role of earning her approval. Most men do not live their own life. They live in a script written by others' desires. Mother, partner, society. They are good boys, stable partners, predictable husbands. But where is their own soul in all of this? When was the last time you did something that was purely yours, without the intention to impress a woman, mother, or the world? When were you naughty, not out of rebellion, but out of the need for authenticity? Because being yourself sometimes means disappointing someone's expectation, especially a woman's. But it is better to be a disappointment than a slave. What you call a woman's love is very often a tool of domination. Not because she is evil, but because nature is ruthless. A woman, consciously or unconsciously, wants to take over your emotional world, not to destroy you, but to possess you, on her own terms. So you don't leave. So you are predictable. So you dance to the melody that only she hears. If you do not recognize this mechanism, you will fall in love, not with her, but with the cage she painted gold. So what should a man do? Return to the source, to solitude, not as a failure, but as a foundation. Build yourself, not from need, not from reaction, not from frustration. Build yourself like a rock that doesn't depend on anyone's gaze. Neither the woman's, nor the father's, nor the crowd's, because only when you stand alone can you truly choose. Choose the woman, not from hunger, but from freedom. Choose closeness, not as an escape, but as a sovereign gesture. What scares a woman the most? A man who doesn't react, doesn't envy, doesn't bet, doesn't analyze what good night means without an emoji. He simply is. He doesn't need anything because everything that matters he already has within himself. Calm, direction, cold will, the heat of inner fire. This man is not a victim of feminine charm. He is a mirror, and the woman, looking into that mirror, starts to see herself as she truly is. Sometimes it attracts her, sometimes it scares her, but it never leaves her indifferent. Remember, you are not on this world to be someone's dream. You are not on this world to be someone's project to fix. You are here to become yourself. And that means not everyone will be able to keep you. When you don't need a woman, you are ready to truly meet her. Not as a trophy, not as a threat, but as a human being, free, wild, authentic. And then perhaps for the first, love will become what it has never been before. Not a prison, not a contract, but a meeting of two free souls who do not have to but want to. In the esoteric traditions of the East and West, woman was neither weak nor pure. She was a mystery, an embodiment of the forces of nature that both build and destroy at the same time. In Kabbalah, Shekinah, the divine presence in the body of a woman. In Tantra, Shakti, the transformative and dangerous energy. In Gnosticism, Sophia, the light hidden in darkness. For Nietzsche, woman was a place where a man can either lose himself or be reborn. Because she is not nice, she didn't come to caress you. She is like fire, that either purifies or burns depending on who you are. That's why the biggest mistake of a man is the fear of loneliness. It is not loneliness that destroys you. It is your struggle with it that makes you weak. Because when you fear silence, you will accept any woman just to drown out the echo. But wisdom doesn't come in dialogue. Wisdom comes in the solitary night, when no one is around, when you look at the ceiling, into the darkness, into yourself. And finally, you stop being afraid. Then you become dangerous, not to others, but to the world that feeds on your lack. Every man who has loved a woman deeply knows this instinctively. Love doesn't give. Love takes. It takes your illusions, your naivete, your dominance. And if you are not ready, it will also take your strength. Because a woman, the real one, not the one from Instagram, summons the death of the ego. And only the one who allows the old self to die can return stronger. Not as a dog on a leash of feminine attention, but as a man who met the fire and didn't burn. Listen carefully. You are not here to choose between women. You are not here to be chosen. You are here to build yourself so high that every relationship becomes a choice, not a compromise. Freedom is not the absence of women. Freedom is the ability to say, I can have you, but I don't have to. I can love you, but I won't forget who I am. I won't be yours, if it means I stopped being mine. There is nothing more erotic than a man who cannot be broke. Not the one who dominates by force, not the one who shines with money, status or muscles, but the one who remains calm when the woman plays the game of distance, silence, emotional chaos. The one who doesn't beg, doesn't explain, doesn't look for blame. He simply walks away, or stays, because he wants to, not because he must. This man is a mystery, and mystery is the deepest aphrodisiac for a woman's mind. But in the end, it's not the game that makes you strong. It's not the tactics, not the psychology, not the advice from YouTube. It's a spiritual choice. Either you will live as a slave to your desires, or you will learn to be with a woman without needing her. This is transcendence, not a monastery, not celibacy, not escape. It's being with a woman but without losing yourself. It's being present but not weak. It's loving, without the need to possess. Man, take off the masks. Destroy the need. Burn away that part of you that begged for acceptance. Don't wait for a woman to choose you. You choose yourself. Not to avoid love, but to love from freedom, not from lack. Because when you become whole, the woman becomes an addition, not the center of your existence. And then perhaps you will meet, not the seductive woman, not the judgmental woman, not the motherly woman, but the free woman, equal, and ready to love a real man. In myths and dreams, the woman was not always human. She was a siren, singing to lure the sailor onto the rocks. She was Lilith, the first woman who refused submission to Adam. She was Kali, the goddess of death, sexuality and rebirth. These stories are not fairy tales. They are warnings written in the subconscious of humanity. Because woman, not as a person but as an archetype, is a test for the consciousness of man, not to destroy him, but to awaken him. And if you don't understand that the woman within you activates the shadows you carry, you will begin to fight her. Instead of learning about yourself. It's not about whether you're handsome. It's not about whether you have money, status, or strength. If you don't know yourself, every glance from a woman will break you. Every indifference from her will kill you. Every approval from her will addict you. You will become an emotional dog waiting for a gesture, for a sign, for a caress, because she will know one thing. This man does not know his center. I can move him with just one finger, and he will do it. Not because he wants to, but because he can. He doesn't want your submissive heart. He doesn't want your adoration. He doesn't want your analyses, your sensitivity, your logic. He wants a man who can transcend her. Not in a physical sense, in a spiritual sense. A woman seeks a man who knows himself deeper than she knows herself, because only such a man can guide her to places she has never been. And this is not something spoken about loudly, because the modern world fears a man who does not beg. But it is precisely such a man who becomes a guide for the woman's soul. Love is not a walk on the beach. It is a battlefield of souls trying not to lose themselves. Every woman subconsciously tests a man. Are you the one who can withstand my chaos? Are you the one who won't abandon himself for me? Can I trust you, not because you love me, but because you won't abandon yourself? And only the one who remains himself in closeness, in distance, in fire and in silence, ceases to be a boy and becomes a true man. Your emotions don't excite her. Your tears don't stop her. Your words to her, they are sounds she has known since childhood. But if you can remain present in your strength when she throws a storm, if you can look without fear when she tests your boundaries, if you can leave her in peace when she screams for closeness, then the woman won't run away, because she will feel that she has finally met a man who is greater than her emotions. And such a man is rare. He is a miracle. He is a strength that cannot be bought. Do you want to know how to win a woman? Stop trying. Stop understanding, analyzing and planning tactics. All of this is an expression of lack, and a woman senses lack faster than your own mind. Instead, build yourself to such a level that she will want to understand you. Not through your words, but through your silence. This is not arrogance. It is the highest form of male spirituality. Presence without need. Man, don't ask what a woman wants. Ask what you are without her. Because if you are nothing, you will lose yourself to any woman who gives you attention. But if you are whole, then no woman will be able to break you. And that's when you will become the one she not only desires, but the one she will not dare to destroy. Don't be beautiful. Don't be correct. Don't be nice. Be real. Because only a real man truly meets a woman.